Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Trying to get back in the swing of things after the remodel fights, and then unfortunately the flood kind of took us away from YouTube for a little while. But we're back, and our first guest is Tom.
What's up?
Goss, right? Goss?
Yeah, Goss.
A member now / fighter / comedian. I guess / comedian / fighter, right? Comedian
We're
first.
just going to keep throwing on slashes until something sticks.
So, Tom has been a member for a little while. Just an awesome all-around dude. Left for a little while, came back, and hit me up and just said, "Hey, Frank, I was offered a fight. Should I do it?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude. Why not?" Trained for it. Went out. Won by knockout. Was awesome. And he's going to have another one coming up here soon.
Yeah, on St. Patrick's Day. And I'm excited because I was back at the gym for, I don't know, like 3 weeks a month when I got hit up about the last one.
Yeah.
And I had not been taking care of myself coming back to the gym, so I'm excited. Like I feel like I'm in a lot better shape, and I feel like, I don't know, I watched the videos of the old fight. I'm like, I think I can kick that guy's ass. Me, like,
yeah,
me,
be yourself.
Yeah. So
best part about fighting is that.
Yeah, it's you versus yourself.
Yeah, self-improvement every time.
Yeah, and as cool as the fight is, like, it's also like, it's weird to be like, yeah, no, that's not. It was a fun fight, but I'm like, the real crazy shit I felt like was in the gym.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who don't fight or haven't ever been in a like professional style fight, every fighter knows training for the fight is the hardest part, because that's how you test yourself, right?
Yeah.
A fight is generally, as an amateur, is 3 2-minute rounds, more often than not, sometimes 5, and your rest is an entire minute. So what we'll do for our guys is we'll do like a gauntlet where you go through fresh dudes for at least 3 to 4 minutes straight with a 30-second rest, and you do that countless times. If you're doing 3 rounds, we'll do 12. Just that way, when you get to the fight, it's easy. You have a whole minute rest instead of 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You're only working for 2 minutes versus 4.
Yeah.
And it only happens 3 rounds versus 12. So your your output is better. The way your eyes can see and adjust to what they're doing is dope.
Yeah.
And you're put through the grind. You understand you're not going to break because you got punched in the mouth.
Yeah, no, and you've already, like, nothing, I mean, you said it, the guys I'd go against, they told me, like, nothing will be harder than what we're doing right now, and you guys were 100%.
Well, also, to be clear, there's a lot more experience here versus the guy you fought.
Oh, 100%.
You're fighting active fighters, guys who currently do this as a profession, and hobbyists right, but guys that do this seriously on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who's new, just getting into it, right?
Right.
Like if I set you up to fight Ivan or Logan, probably a pretty bad day.
Yeah, that would be a very bad day.
But then being a part of your camp and sparring you and hitting you and you having to adjust to that guy makes the adjustments to somebody who hasn't much easier.
Yeah. No, I remember I showed my friend another comic who did because they combined comedy and fighting for this, for the production, and I was showing one of the comics. The fight night, it was Colin fought, Logan fought, and I forgot who else fought. But I remember, yeah. I remember after the first round of either Colin or Logan's fight, Keith just goes, "These are the guys who've been hitting you in the face?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You're gonna murder Danny."
Yeah. Hey man, I mean, he did get stopped. We'll put a clip here.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
And dude, that shit was awesome. It was so fun to watch. I wish I could have been there, but my fighters fought the same night, right?
I think like 11 hours before my fight.
Yeah. And he was in Fresno versus we were here in SoCal. So
yeah, it was a giant. Yeah, it's far. It does kind of suck because there's a bunch of people now who want to see me fight, but most of them are in Southern California.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people are saying they're going to try to make the trip up, but it's like it's a giant trip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm driving to LA or saying it's.
It would still be kind of fun if we could swing it where a group of us go up there, especially some of the boys,
Oh, that would rule.
And just come out strong. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll work that out. And there's going to be a lot of little areas to touch on here, guys, because we only have so much time. Even on a long form format, it's an hour, 2 hours, whatever. because we're definitely going to have some issues because as we sat down, he's like, man, your podcast room's beautiful. It's nice. This is a great setup. Are you a fan of Superman? And I was like, wait, what? You're not? He's like, I love comics, but he's like my least favorite. I'm like, hold on. What? As you can see behind me, they're not real, so there's no need to break in and fucking steal them. These ones are replicas of the original Superman comics from the original Superman in action. That one, though, that is an original 1953 comic from 53, so that one is pretty dope. But why not Superman?
It just seems... I really enjoy the superhero, the weaknesses of the superhero. It seems like Clark Kent is boring to me. You know what I mean? He can do everything. He's super Jesus. He can fly. He has laser lights. It's like, I know kryptonite's his weakness, but it's like he's very like, I love Wolverine, but Wolverine hates being Wolverine, and that's interesting to me. Like, Superman's he's good at being Superman.
Yeah. And
he's just OP. He's just very powerful. So I have a hard time. It's like, I shouldn't be like, I wish my life was easy like yours. Like, they're supposed to, in my opinion, I like superheroes who, even if they have powers, still are, like, struggling to figure stuff out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Hulk is one of the very powerful, but Bruce Banner is, he hates that side. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, if you follow some of the comics and some of the old stuff, that's one of Clark's things, right? Is he wants to be human so bad,
right,
and not have to be that person that's always there. But if he doesn't do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So there's that side of him, and a lot of people think the reason I like Superman is because of his power. That's not it at all.
Okay,
right. What I love most about Superman is his like a humanitarian, like he's a better human than we are, and he's not human. He wants to be human so bad and be such a great person. His morals and those things can never be broken.
Right.
He is that perfect, right? Outside of like Red Kryptonite, but
which I've heard I would love. All my friends in his comics are like, read that one, you'll like Superman.
Because now he'll do all the things that his inhibitions, like which most people would use alcohol for or drugs for, that would be the one thing that turns his ability to be good and pure off, and now he does what you would probably do if you had the powers.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the one he lands in Russia instead of America, right?
That's a different one, but that is one where he just goes in like a nut.
Okay.
My boy Harvey, all those, I don't go into the comic that much. The other piece that I love about him is the way he was brought up. I love the family.
Yeah.
He had two amazing parents, like his dad from both planets.
Right.
Just the way he was raised, I wanted that, and I think I looked up to that because I didn't have it.
That makes sense.
I wanted that, right? Like, you look at it, you're like, man, this guy's just knowledge and love and taking care of you. And they love you so much, they sent you to another planet. Right?
Yeah.
Even though they can't go with you. And now the person on the planet is such a good human, they're teaching you to be this pure, great human. And, with great power comes great responsibility and all these other things. And you're going to come a point to, with all the power that you have, how are you going to use it? Are you going to use it to be good? Or are you going to use it to take over? Because you have the ability.
You could just take over,
Right? And you haven't done that. You choose to fight off all of the wrong and the bad, even if it means hurting yourself, even if it means jeopardizing your personal life, your Clark's life, right? No matter, and not that I can say I'm remotely close to that at all, but here, there's 300 members, right? And constantly, you've been here for the past couple of days, us trying to do things together and get things done, and it's every 5 minutes.
Busy man you are.
There's somebody new, and my goal is to be here to help as many people as I possibly can, whether it's fighting, life experiences, and relationships, so on and so forth. And sometimes I do that at a detriment to myself. I don't sleep, but 4 hours a night on average. 5 if I'm like super lucky, right? But there's a lot of things I don't do and I won't go do just so that I could be here and help those around me, because I know what it's like to not be helped. Yeah. And I don't ever want people to ever feel that way. So that's my life's purpose, right? That's why I'm here. It's why MMT is here. So those are things that resonate with me.
That's the best defense of Superman I've ever heard.
So for those of you who are wondering, it's not just his powers. His powers are cool. I wish I could fly, right? That'd be dope.
Yeah.
But that's why he's always been my like.
It's the choosing
favorite.
to do good and being so flawless and direct with it.
Yeah,
and,
which is
unwavering.
Part of the unwavering way for me as a kid was. Some of you guys who know me, I've never done drugs ever. I've never drank. I've never done anything like that at all ever my whole life. I'm 42.
Yeah.
Right, and school, DARE. You remember the DARE program, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So a comedian just happened to be the one who changed it. They did a back and forth thing, and a comedian came on stage and he was talking about he was like umpteen years sober, and everyone's cheering and clapping. What the hell is everyone so happy about? I don't get it. What does sober mean? I was in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
I was like, what does sober mean? And they're like, oh, you don't do this, that, and the other. I bet you I could do that. Right?
Yeah.
Just not do it.
And
I don't understand.
Do you know what comedian it was?
No, he was a short little bald dude.
Okay, that could have been anyone back
exactly.
that time. Yeah.
So
guessing white.
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I would remember the names and all that, but I don't. But it was at Serrano Intermediate, and yeah, man. And from that point, it was just always a thing. Like, and I remember my friends had some weed at some point, and I was like, let me try that. And I thought I was Cheech and Chong, and I went to take a puff, and I started coughing, and I was like, why would you guys do this? I don't understand. Who does this? So I just never did it.
Yeah.
Right? I've tasted a sip of beer, and I was like, oh, this tastes like ass. Who drinks this shit? Why? So I never did it. I always wanted to because I saw it around me. It was at parties.
Yeah.
And now as I got older, now it's just a personal thing. I just don't want to. And bro, you would be amazed at the things I've been offered to drink.
Right.
At parties or bars. Women have offered sex. I've been offered money. Really, you're not going to drink with me? I was like, are you shitting me? Like, it means that much to you for me to be like you.
You know why?
Like, I don't understand.
Because there is it. Look, it's a lot of. I'm not sober. When I first joined the gym back in the day, the reason I joined the gym was because I had to be sober for we didn't know how long. I had just gotten out of the ICU for 8 days. I had pancreatitis, which was from drinking. But what I wanted to say was the reason they want you to drink is because there is like, it's fun and it can be all these things, but there is some guilt and shame when other people aren't doing it too.
Yeah.
So they're pressuring you because they want to feel better about. They're like, you know what I mean? Oh, this person can go their whole life without doing it. Relax, come on, and then
see. But now, doesn't that point back to Soup? Why so many people don't like, because he can't be broken. He's too pure.
Yeah,
you're too perfect. There has to be some, because it's not as relatable.
Right.
People relate to a lot of superheroes because they relate to the imperfections.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of imperfections. So a lot of people choose, instead of, man, I want to strive to be this. It's easier to chop it down. And I think that's a lot about our society today too, and how we're raised. And a lot of people praise like anti-villains and anti-heroes and those kinds of things. Yeah. Which I like some of them too. I'm guilty of it. I'm a pretty nice guy most of the time, but if you fuck with somebody I love, you're probably gonna pay for it.
Yeah. No, I love anti. You know what it is? I enjoy, and I got into this kind of stuff at a very different time than you did. I enjoy a lot of the anti-villains, not because they're complicated people, just because sometimes it life is always more complicated than a comic book or a movie.
Yeah.
And it makes you I enjoy seeing, even though it's still way more simple than life, the anti-villains kind of feel like it feels more like real life, but distant enough to not be real life at the same time.
Like, dude, the Justice League, good movie. The Justice League Snyder Cut, fucking way better of a movie.
Okay, I didn't see the Justice Leagues.
Okay, so the Justice League came out. There was an issue with the director's family, so he stopped directing it.
Yeah.
Which was Jack Snyder. So they had some other person take over, who's some woke fucking pussy who made it like Batman's gonna retire and turn his mantle over to Wonder Woman, which is bullshit. No offense, ladies, but let's get real. So then the Snyder Cut came out, which is, it basically starts. It's majority of the same movie, but not. It's darker. There's blood. There's cussing. There's normal life.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, you see more real. And as badass as Wonder Woman is, she's still her badass character, because she's a dope character, but she stays in her lane. It's not all this woke culture bullshit where shit like that would never happen. It's never happened in the comics. Why the fuck are you doing this? It's dumb. Don't do that.
Right.
They interfered with stuff they shouldn't have done, and the Snyder Cut doesn't do that. It's fucking amazing.
Okay.
So it shows a much harder side of the comics, Superman especially when he's beating the fuck out of people and he's kind of arrogant when the dude tries to get at him. He's like, really?
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Like, apparently you're new here.
Yeah.
So
that
anyway.
is one. Did you see the newest Batman?
Yes.
What was your opinions? Because I was geared up for it to be like, I wanted the first like R-rated super Batman's kind of losing his mind. Alfred's trying to get. I thought it was going to be way darker than it was because that's what it looked like in the trailers.
So Harvey, no offense, Harvey's a Batman freak and he loves it. And he was so excited about this fucking Batman movie, and I told him I wasn't gonna watch it because Homeboy from Twilight was Batman. I was like, there's no fucking way. And I still stick true to my fucking story. Fuck that guy. No offense, people. You too, Ginger. I wasn't a fan, dude.
Really?
I watched it. It was cool. I haven't watched it again. And I watch movies religiously over and over and over. I buy movies. I don't like renting them because I love going back and watching things that I like, and that's just who I am. And that movie is not one of them.
Yeah. No, I love Batman.
See, like, I like a darker Batman. I want that too.
The Dark Knights were
awesome.
good, but I was like, okay, you've done campy Batman. You've done like very realistic world Batman. It seemed like the next is like make an R-rated Batman or try to push against it, and it just seemed like that's why I was disappointed. I was like, all right, if that's kind of all that's left. You've done the sillier Batmans. You've done show me Batman versus the serial killer, you know, which was kind of a genius thing to do to make like the Riddler the Zodiac, but then they didn't really do anything with it. But
that's what I mean. There was parts of it that were intriguing, like, ooh, okay. Like, I like the mental mind games, and then it just stopped. It was just like, whoever was writing just got tired. Just said, fuck, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. No, I wanted to get trippier and weirder and darker, and it just like there were moments, but I wanted more because they filmed the trailer looked like this is going to be the darkest, craziest, you know. And then what? I actually had no problem with. I think it was Robert Pattinson's. I thought he did an okay job. Like, he wasn't my favorite Batman, but I thought he did okay.
No, he wasn't horrible. But again, Michael Keaton's my favorite, by the way.
Michael Keaton's great. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he's up there. And then Bale. And then after Bale, shocking, Affleck. Who knew?
Really? It's okay. I see the new DC stuff. I haven't really checked out at all. Yeah. I checked out. I watched.
I did not think Affleck was going to be a good Batman, and he was surprisingly very good, actually. Him and Bale are probably tied. I did not think he was going to be good. I was shocked.
Well, the craziest twist in the Batman world was when Heath Ledger was the Joker.
How about a magic trick? I'm going to make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone.
Because he was in rom-coms and you know, like
one of the greatest fucking movies ever.
Yeah, I'd argue the best. I mean, if you could say Jack Nicholson, but I'd say he's the best Joker.
Yeah,
in
Jack
my
Nicholson
opinion.
is Joker is a different Joker.
Yeah,
and was epic for that Joker, especially in that time. Right, like just amazing.
But just different.
Dancing, throwing fucking paint on it, like just he was destructive.
Yeah.
If you gotta go with the smile.
Dans mon esprit tout divin, je me perds dans tes yeux, je me noie dans la vague de ton regard.
Right, like I liked it. I dug it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we understand why the shit's behind me, because it's shit that I like. Not what all of you like. It's what I like. We got Voltron, the original, before Transformers and before all that shit, because I'm a lot older than most of you guys. Halloween, my favorite villain, like scary movie person ever, is Michael Myers. Everyone knows that about me. Every Halloween, I've seen them all. I have the masks. I have...
Another perfect man who can't be corrupted, but...
just pure evil, bro. Yeah. No matter how good you are, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you
and that's weird, right? Because my personalities are split. Right?
Yeah.
I'm a type A type. So I'm a super, like, extrovert, right? Go-getter type person. When you do this personality test and they're split the opposite way, I'm a super introvert.
Yeah.
Which in the real world, I am an introvert. I don't like attention. I don't want people to know me. In the fighting world, though, it's like, come look at me. Come watch me. Like, right?
Yeah.
It's such a polar opposite. And here, I like the greatest thing alive and the evilest thing
Yeah.
on the planet, right? They're the two opposites of the coin, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's one thing people tend to forget in the world is we're so focused on feelings these days and happy, happy, happy. Every person has everything in them. Every person can be happy, can be sad, can be depressed, can be have hatred, angst, all of these things all the time. It's how we choose to deal with all those emotions at any given time, right? But I think everyone's a lot of everything, in my opinion, right? I don't think there's any perfect person. I just think we try to do the best we can.
Yeah.
What we can.
Yeah. No, and there's a lot of, no, people, well, that's the thing. Whenever I meet someone who's too one thing, I'm like, why are you hiding? I feel like you're hiding, not you, but like the royal, I feel like you're hiding from it. And there are environment, like if you're working a job, you can't show the full you, but like, nothing freaks me out more than someone who's always happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, because I know you have demons. Show me your demons. I don't know where they are. You know, someone who's I've seen, even if they're a little less pleasant to be around, I'm like, I know where your demons are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know where I can and can't trust.
All the fake smile shit.
Yeah.
No, I feel you.
No, that's why I was going to go crazy in LA, because that's part of the culture in Los Angeles, is to not try to be as perfect as possible in a completely flawed, fucked up environment. You know what I mean?
See, I mean, I hate going to LA.
Yeah.
I could give a fuck. How many miles have you put on your car in the past 6 months?
Oh, I have no idea. A lot. I think I've had two or three oil changes in the last. I had 3 oil changes the last 6 months. The last 6 months, I've also not driven as much as I. I don't know what
Which is
normal.
crazy, because every time I talk to him, it's like, oh, I'm going to Riverside, I'm going to Hemet, I'm going to fucking LA, I'm going here.
Yep.
Like, you travel a lot for comedy.
I do. Yeah. Well,
I get to see him because all of his shows are far, and the one time he's going to have a local show, it got canceled, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah. No, and then there was another local. Well, I also, so the two I want to make sure you come to a good show. You know what I mean?
Bro, as long as you're performing, I don't care about everything else. I'm that guy that loses myself with you. I don't care about the stuff and the people. If you say shit, that's fine. I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing, Frankie. I don't get nervous anymore unless there's someone from outside the comedy world at the show. Like I don't get it. That's all. It could be the high. It's like, oh, there's a bunch of TV producers. I don't give a shit. But if like it's a friend from middle school, I'm freaking the fuck out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like for whatever reason. So I want you guys. I also want you, if you're going to take the time to come out, I want to make sure you have a good time. I want to make sure there's other comics that are going to make you laugh at the lineup too. I don't want to be the only one. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of dope people who you would love that aren't famous. Why can't you see some of them as well as me? You know?
Yeah, no, I can't. But I just want to go finally see you actually perform. Like you've been here in my world forever.
I know.
Right? I want to go see your world and see how you do. Doing your thing, right? Like I know how I do doing my thing. I want to see you do your thing. Right?
Yeah. So. No, and they're very different worlds. I know. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much every Tuesday after I go here, I go do a show in Long Beach, and I forget how far Long Beach is. Just because, I mean, I remember the first tour I went on. I drove to, I literally drove to Oklahoma, and did shows in that general area, and then drove up to Indiana. Like, you have no idea. I drive like a madman. We also, so I'm not famous. You
should be. Netflix, pick him up.
Yeah, it's my new plan, is just keep knocking people out until they give me a comedy special. I tried being nice to everybody and getting really funny and getting up 10 times a week and traveling all around the country and Canada doing comedy. That hasn't worked, so the new plan is just KO people until you give me a...
Pick them up. Yeah. Fuck it, even DAZN, whatever you want to call it. Hey, man, throw his ass on the undercard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'll do it.
He'll do a comedy show, and then he'll fight afterwards.
I'll do whatever I need to at this point. I just know that, I don't know, so much of the world is luck, too.
No.
There's
right
something...
place, right time, people.
Yeah, and there's something, I think that was always part of the appeal of, this world is very simple, even though it's not. But it's still... At the end of the day, one person out punch and out move the other person, or out kick. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure there's politics and everything. I'm sure it still exists there, but I'm not involved in that here. I get to just deal with learning how to get better, and something that simple and pure feels awesome compared to, you know, driving to Bakersfield to sleep in my car to perform for 30 people and a couple $100, you know, like in trying to, people asking you things and you not being able to open up.
That's the life
you know.
of most professional fighters. Driving to a shithole, turning your heater on in the car because you have to sweat and you don't have access to a sauna.
Yeah.
You wear a trash bag to cut weight. They go, they pay for their medicals, they get in to have a fight that they maybe make a few $100s for, and at the end of it with gas and paying trainers, you're net negative.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, for fighting is a very lonely man sport because you have to be very selfish.
Well,
right?
that was.
But just the training itself, like for the membership part, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, very much. But the fight life is very much that. The loneliness, the traveling, fucking sucks.
So one of the things, because I thought you guys, when I moved back down here, I literally just drove to the old location.
Yeah.
And then I think it's a dialysis clinic now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, they closed. I didn't even Google if you guys moved or anything, but it was right after it was still kind of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Everything shut down, so I was just like, fuck, they didn't survive. And then it took another like 6 months for me to be like, maybe Frankie or Harvey or someone from the gym's teaching. So, and then I was like, oh, they just moved. I'm an idiot. And I came back. But one of the big reasons I started watching Tough, and the way a lot of the fighters talked about I was like, oh, I do this, except I tell jokes to drunks in terrible cities instead of fighting. But the way they describe, you know, sleeping on floors and living in cars and driving 8 hours to, you know, I'm like, oh, I've been doing that for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, I was sleeping, when I lived in LA, I lived on a kitchen floor, and it was me and like 7 other guys, and we took over for what used to be a tweaker house, and we took it over, and the joke was we took over a tweaker house and we somehow made it worse. You know, that was the kind of inside joke. We all shared one mug, and someone would lose it, and we'd all start being like, who has the mug? Not a mug, the mug. You know, we were, but in like watching, I would watch stuff and like, it sounds like the same shit.
Yeah.
They'll have 13 roommates, and they're just, you know, it's.
Yeah.
You know, people can really exploit you if you have a dream. That's it doesn't matter what the dream is, but people are gonna, you know, if you're willing to make there's always someone willing to make the sacrifices. So, like, it seems like it doesn't matter whether it's comedy or fighting or art or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Tough.
Yeah.
What's Tom's goal? What is your goal? Like, what is you're happy?
You know, so I never, like, I don't care about being famous or rich. I just want to be able to make, like, I want to be able to take care of myself and not be stressed all the time just with comedy. I want to tour. Having a you know, a cult following that supports me.
Yeah.
I don't need to be, you know, the next Dane Cook, or that was never the goal.
Yeah.
I love the craft of stand-up. I love taking a new joke and then playing with it, and it doesn't work. What if I change? I love the little mind. I feel the way about comedy the way you talk about fighting. There's little things, little adjustments, the little until you make it work. You know,
give me or us a run through. I've always heard comics talk about that.
Yeah.
So you think about something or a topic or something goes on in life.
Yeah.
And then you try to make a joke about it.
Right.
You tell it. And you look for reactions of people.
Yeah.
And then based off of that reaction, you make adjustments to the joke? Or delivery or timing or...
So there have been jokes or stories that I did for the first time. There was a bit I did for like 6 months, you know, this story, and what ended up changing is just the energy. I just need to say it differently. But you'll experiment with that, and then, you know, sometimes you'll write a new joke, you're like, I think it's kind of funny. You do it for a couple weeks, you go, I hate this. You know what I mean? You're like, so you ditch it. Even sometimes it works. Sometimes the crowds like it. You're like, I don't like it, so you stop doing it. Other times it's, you know, figuring out like, what words do I what the timing. Do I need to change? Little minute things. And then sometimes you also go up in front. You go up in front of a lot of crowds where their reaction ends up being meaningless. Because you'll try other jokes and like, okay, if they're laughing at they just have a different taste than my target demographic.
Oh, got it. Okay, so like where you are.
Yeah, because a lot of these shows you're working it out. It's not they're there to see one. Like Tuesdays, I do a room it's at Harvell's in Long Beach, and it's comedy and burlesque. And they get people drive down from LA, and it's good lineups, and you get real people there. But there's no like a lot of people are there just to see some titties.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So you got to kind of go like, all right, are the people not laughing because this isn't funny? Or are they not laughing because this crowd tonight just want to see some titties? You know what I mean?
They're not there for fun.
So there's constantly, and then if you try something in front of your crowd, you're like, oh, this is the kind of people who usually like me, and it works great. You're like, awesome. You keep doing it, and then also when you get ready to record a thing, you start changing things again. It's always adapting. It's always slightly making better. I don't know if this is the kind of, if I'm explaining it the right way, but like there's just so many factors going on where the number one thing is just constantly doing it and constantly monitoring what you're doing, but all off stage. On stage, you just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Then you equivalent of training, you listen to it, you take notes on it, you mentally prepare, and then on stage you fuck all that, let's just have fun. And if you've actually done the work, a lot of those little things are going to stick with you, and you'll see like if you're headed the right direction. So I some people just go on stage, some people are real, like some people never write. It's rare, but some people just never write. They'll just kind of, they'll think of a thing, they'll say it, and boom, it's out there, and then I'm good, and it works for them. Yeah. I'm just not. Maybe it's a personality thing, but like I gotta obsess, and I gotta.
So do you have like a specific set that you like to use, and you go like in order, or do you have an arsenal of jokes that you work on, that you write, and depending on the people and what you see, you kind of work those jokes in?
So if I like to constantly be writing. I don't want to say I get bored. So part of the reason I put out an album, like, all right, I'm just going to stop doing these jokes and then force myself to write a new 45 minutes, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it's a long, 45 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
And then right when I did, that's when the pandemic hit. So right now I have jokes that I know work, they work probably 90% of the time. At higher than 90% of the time in front of the right people. I know I can bring them out and they will work. And then I'm about 30 minutes of that material, and based on the night, I'll be like, okay, yeah, this crowd I'm gonna do, they like dirty stuff, so we'll talk about gangbang porn and build that. And then I have some new stuff I'm gonna try in the middle, and some new dirty stuff. So if if this crowd likes this, I'm like, cool, I'll add the dirty stuff. And then I'll still do clean shows. I can do clean. I'm just too dark for clean, if that makes sense. I can take out the swear words. There's just, what some of my friends say, even when you don't swear, it feels like you're swearing on stage. So it's like, it's hard for me to do those, but I like doing them because it's hard,
Yeah.
It's running on the treadmill at the 9 incline,
Yeah.
For me, because I'm not a clean comic. Okay, does it work for a clean crowd? Does it work, and you do it all these different scenarios, and then finally you go, yeah, I was right 8 months ago, the joke's okay.
Yeah, no, I would have, that's probably the hardest part here.
Yeah.
Right, is being clean all the time.
Oh, yeah,
which is why
yeah.
most of you know me. I'm not. I just kind of say what I want, and this is how it is. I have to keep my mouth shut from 4 to 5 because we have the kids class, so it's like, and you usually see me in my office or getting something else done or working with a client is easier, just holding pads because it's just work. But
Yeah, no, I
good
always,
stuff.
yeah, I'm a fucking, well, I'm not just dirty and I'm also just weird. I don't know if you've noticed that. I'm just a weird guy.
I don't think you're weird.
Well, comics are weird in general. I don't know if you've ever met a normal comic, but yeah. Well, it's one thing is it took me a second. There were a couple times I came to the gym wearing shirts I realized I can't be wearing around. One of my favorite ironic shirts to wear is just a shirt that says "I'd rather be drinking piss," and I showed up to the gym early on in the days, and it was literally the kids' class. I literally went home to put on a different shirt. I never want to be never want to upset, the parents and the kids.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I just don't think you're a weird guy. I think you're a pretty normal dude.
Well, I appreciate that.
I think you think you're weird.
I do think, you're not the first person to tell me this, Frankie.
Bro, you know what's crazy, though? As we talked a little bit about this yesterday as you were leaving, I think a lot of men today, and people too, not just men and women, but a lot of men that I know, because that's what I deal with mostly, have a weird sense of either self-worth or value.
Yeah.
Right? And how the world perceives you. And more often than not, most men are harder on themselves and harder on each other than any girl will be, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, hey, man, see you tomorrow on podcast this time. Boom, boom. Yep, cool. I said, so make sure you do your hair, get all pretty. He says, all right, I'll come dressed like I would if I was going out on a date. So I see my dude show up, and I'm like, my man, he's got some fresh Converse on. He's got a jean jacket on. Okay, my dude's ready. He's ready to go. And ladies, if you would like a date, he's single, comment down below. Drop a line. And we were talking about this, and you've gone on a couple of dates here and there, and some dates you thought were dates that weren't dates, which, dude, happens more often than you would think. Like, there's so many dates that guys go on that they feel are, oh, this person knows I'm interested.
Yeah.
Or you think they're interested, and then all of a sudden, after you spend $200 on dinner and a night out, all of a sudden you go home by yourself wondering what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, well, I think part of it too is like I think some dudes are they're very aggressive. I'm the opposite. I've always dealt with this fear that I might accidentally hurt somebody. When I played hockey in middle school, I accidentally broke a kid's back. Which is, it's weird guilt complex I've always dealt with. So I think I send very weird signals when I'm interested in somebody, which I've realized is a thing that I need to work on, because what happens is I end up attracting people who are not good people. You know what I mean? So I've literally taken a break from dating to try to get my shit in order, just because I keep repeatedly attracting the same kind of person who is toxic people,
Could that be where you're pulling them from?
What's that?
Could it be where you're pulling them from? Like where you're...
So typically it's women who approach me in the past, which I'm trying to break that pattern. I don't know what it. Even the other night I was working because I also work at a bar, and there was a girl that I was we were making eyes or whatever, and we talked a little bit, and literally the night ended with her being dragged out by her friends. I didn't touch her. Her friends, as she's kicking them in the head. I'm like, oh, why is it the same kind of person all that? So I don't know.
He said bar and he said work. Comedy's usually going to be some alcohol involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the other thing.
And trust me, you're not the only guy that is shy. The average dude, we're not talking about top tier men, guys you see on Instagram. We're talking about the average dude is more often than not shy, reserved, doesn't know how to talk to girls. And I think they say on average right now, 1 in 3 men is either between the 18 and 32 is on average a virgin or hasn't had sex in a year.
Really?
Which is shocking to hear about, right? And then you think there's no way. But then the average dude's 5'7", 37 to 50K a year. Fuck, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because then you look around at plenty of my group, the guys that come in here that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. Again, my sample size, there's about 300 people, not including people who are just coming in to visit. This is, right, my sample size is fairly decent day-to-day, and the thousands and thousands of people I've come across over the past, 20-some years of doing this and dealing with guys who either, insecurities or, right, that's why they want to get into martial arts or learn how to fight, because they don't feel some type of security And I was that way too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not special, right? I understand that.
Yeah.
That's why I like helping so many guys, because I was that guy, right? And
Makes
being the friend
sense,
zone,
yeah.
being in the friend zone, and wanting to talk to a girl and then do all the right things you think you're doing that you're told to do, and then all of a sudden it's not you. Then you go home alone, hurt, wondering what the fuck just happened. You have like a hole in your stomach. What the fuck? Am I not good enough? And then you have all this, and that does not help. This is just a chain reaction, a negative that just doesn't help.
Yeah. No, and with the friend zone thing, like, I don't know. I'm also a weird dude where, like, I don't typically get attracted to women that I wouldn't at least want to be their friends. You know what I mean? Like, I feel very uncomfortable. So a lot of times I like to. This is such a weird
I want to
thing.
get to know someone first.
Yeah, I want to get to know someone first, and I'm like, would I be
But
friends
that's
with
literally
this person?
what dating is for.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think the modern world we're in now skips a whole bunch of steps, which is fucking crazy.
The apps are so fucking bad for my generation.
Dude, it's horrible. Look, meet people, go out. Just because you guys go on a date does not mean you're exclusively dating. Does not mean this person's tied to you for your life.
Yeah.
It just means like, hey, I want to get to know you better.
Doesn't even mean it's a good date. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
just means I want to get to know you better than I do now.
Yeah.
And let's see if this is even anything in worth pursuing. Let's just get to know each other, because I don't fucking know you.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So let's go to coffee. I think a lot of thing that I see a lot of guys do too is they lead with their wallet. Stop doing that shit, man. Fuck. No reason to go on a dinner date for $200 or fucking take this bitch fucking skydiving and all this crazy shit, man. Go sit down. Go sit down fucking somewhere on a beach. Go get some coffee. Chill. Don't go to a movie where you guys can't talk. Don't go to a concert where it's so loud you can't communicate.
Yeah.
Nothing's being accomplished there. Right? Be blunt as far as your expectation. Right? It doesn't have to be, I want to take this chick home and do what I want. It's, hey, I want to get to know you better than I do the day before. Let's go have a conversation and, see if you're deeper than a puddle.
Yeah.
Right? Because, some are not. And same thing for guys, man.
Oh yeah.
So-
No, it's between the two genders, personality. Like we're all fucked up. Yeah, you know. There are
But
plenty of dudes that I don't want to have more than a 3 cents conversation with.
Facts.
You know.
So that's the point of dating, right? Like, that's the whole point. It's like, hey, but how many times you can be able to buy someone a $200 dinner and try to impress someone with something that's really not you all the time?
Yeah.
The best thing is to be you all the time, right? Because that's who they're going to be stuck with. So
Yeah.
start low, stay that way, because then it's working up from there, right?
Yeah.
So that's some of the advice I could tell you. Don't lead with your wallet.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest problem I have too is my schedule is insane.
Yeah.
Most people work during the day, free at night. I'm packed at night, free during the day, but that's also when I sleep most of the time. And then I'm also just always randomly driving to. It's been less lately, but I'm just constantly in different places. It also takes a very specific kind of, like, in terms of dating, it takes a very specific kind of person to be like, oh, he's out at this bar and this club. And even though I'm performing, they have to be secure enough to be like, he's there for work, which is going to feel, which is why a lot of comics end up dating comedians.
Right, because they understand the word. Well, fighters is very similar.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, no, it takes that, but again, those are things you establish up front. You set up boundaries and rules, and they understand, and you understand, and you do the things as the man to ensure and reassure them, right? That, hey, this is what I'm doing. Talk, you know what I mean? There's plenty of ways to do it that just some people don't, because it's the lack of overuse word here, emotional intelligence, but to be aware of your partner's feelings and how they feel and what they're going through, and recognizing those things through body language, expressions, tones of voice, right? Like, I'm going here for, fuck, again? Like, okay, well, there's a problem there. What's wrong? Oh, well, I just made sure. Okay, well, let's set up a date night this night. I got this for us. Da-da-da. And you make the plan as the guy, right? Like, you do the right thing. So it is tough and it's hard to navigate, especially when your times are completely opposite. Trust me, my times are 3:30 in the morning till 8 at night. So
you're always busy.
But it's it's tough. Okay, so now we're gonna steer gears here, guys, because we're running out of time. Sorry, I have clients to work with, and it is what it is. But we'll do more, especially after the fight on St. Patrick's Day.
Any time I'm down.
So the guy that he beat, clip here, you're fighting his son now.
Yes.
How the fuck did that happen? So you beat a guy and he's just like, yo, I'm gonna fucking get revenge for my dad. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Because
the dad didn't fight, right? Neither of you guys have fought before. You and the dad.
Yeah, we'd never fought before.
So they linked up to do this.
And he was like, I mean, I still remember when I came back from the radio, because they make it a big production up there. This was the first one. Now we're doing the second one. The hook was 2 comedians fighting, and they just kept telling me I was going to gas out, and I was out. And to be fair, I was like almost 40 pounds heavier than I am now. Like I was in terrible shape. But
because of that radio interview and them making him feel like shit, he came back, and when he was telling me he was upset, I said, use that shit to motivate you to work harder. And he worked his ass off.
I really did. And you know what it was is and this is a little thing I've heard throughout my life right before I go Super Saiyan or whatever, is I goes, your eyes are different.
Yeah.
And I could feel, I was really upset. The number one thing that upset me was actually not during the interview. It was another comic called him when we were driving back, and he goes, I didn't know you ever did Muay Thai. I'm like, yeah, I did some Muay. Like, I'm not like I'm getting back into it, but he's like, you didn't do Muay Thai. You're too nice to do Muay Thai. And for whatever reason, that comment fucking just blew a gasket in my head.
The straw that breaks camel's back.
That's exactly what. Because as a comic, you take people jabbing at you all the time. I can take a joke. You can make fun. I don't. Whatever. But it was, you're too nice to do Muay Thai. Just like burned a hole through my head, and that was a big. So, and they even told me after the fight, the guys producing are like, you were supposed to be a joke. We thought you were going to gas out. It was going to be hilarious for the other guy to beat you because he's older than you, but like he runs all the time and he takes care of his body. We thought that you were going to be a joke.
It was going to be a blowout.
And he goes, the fighters were supposed to upstage. And he goes, you upstaged the fighters. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. He wasn't. Yeah. He said all these flattering things. And so they were trying to find all these other comics, and it seemed like there wasn't a lot of enthusiasm to fight
make
me.
it. Yeah.
But one of the guys who did have some enthusiasm and was willing to do it was the last guy's son, who's one of the guys who trained the last guy, and
he has a fighting background.
Yes,
he has a fight already.
Yes, and he did a kickboxing.
And you guys are just boxing.
We're just boxing. Okay. We actually brought up like, what if we kickboxed or did Muay Thai, and in their opinion, they're like, it doesn't just phrase wise, it just doesn't sell as well as boxing. So no, which I guess that's probably true in America. I'm guessing. I mean, you know better than me. Did point karate kind of destroy people's perception of what kickboxing is?
I just don't think people mainstream know what Muay Thai is.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you think about it, you only hear the music, like right, which I enjoy. I personally, it's meditation to me, right?
Yeah.
And it's part of the culture, so I love it. But a lot of people don't, which I understand. Which is why you have modified kickboxing and Muay Thai rules.
Yeah.
Which is what's taken over like Glory and a lot of other organizations where it's like Muay Thai, but it's not.
Right.
So, I think that was a big piece. So, I get it. But so now how old is this kid?
He's around my age.
Okay, so you guys, how is he taller than you? He's
got a couple inches on me.
Okay.
Weight,
is he bigger?
What's that?
Is he bigger than you weight wise?
No. I'm fucking dense, Frankie.
I mean, dude, you're a bulldog. We were sparring yesterday, man. You come forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't. I go backwards. I'm definitely gonna like.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. That's really the only is to keep pressuring, right?
You're like a little T-Rex, little Tyson.
A little T-Rex.
Bro, I got the same issue. I got no arms, 6 foot, and I got no arms. My reach is little. I make it up with my leg kicks and stuff. So I understand the forward pressure. Right? That's why I train you the way I train you.
Yeah, no, I understand. You were right, and all the fighters, you're like, study these guys, and now I'm huge fans of all of those fighters, and and I also it's I also think it's a cool way to fight. It looks cool to be able to get inside on someone who's way taller than you. Even though this guy's not, I think he's like maybe 3 inches taller.
That guy's not horrible.
Yeah, no, I mean,
How do you feel about it?
I'm very excited. I really, even so, like, you know, last time I was really trying to prove to my, I think I would have had a mental breakdown if I lost that fight, Frankie. I think I was on, not in fighting, it was my first fight, but in life I was just on a major losing skid, you know. And I think they really underestimated how much I needed a win in something in that last fight.
Sure.
This fight, I feel like I wasn't able to show everything I could do. The other thing on the last fight was that I was still recovering from that slip disc in my back.
Yeah.
Which I was really underplaying to you and Harvey because I didn't want you guys
To stop the fight.
Yeah, but I couldn't. When I texted Harvey, I couldn't walk. I had to like crawl to use the bathroom. It's like I was in horrible pain.
That's the part about fighting too that nobody understands is how much fighters really do injure themselves in training and still fight. I don't think there's any fighter I've ever seen who's trained at or fought at 100%.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't. I mean, you have to like. You're gonna have little injuries just from the training.
Yeah.
Like we've already talked about, a lot of times the training can be more. It can be more challenging.
I've had guys
than the
get
fight.
cracked ribs, have to pull out of fights, busted hands.
Yeah.
It happens, dude.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
You
get
know.
it.
So, but like especially like I'll take like I'd go, you know, hurt just the back, and maybe I'm being foolish right now. I'd rather have like a, you know, hurt foot or a hurt hand or elbow, anything but just like the back, because I didn't have strength in my legs.
Right, yeah.
And I'm so lucky that I recovered in time, because at a certain point I was just like, no matter what, like if I pull out this close to the fight, I'm never gonna hear.
Yeah,
it'd
you'll be a
be
bitch.
worse than losing.
Right.
So I was just like, I'm gonna do everything.
Yeah, you're better off fighting injured and losing with an injury
Yeah.
and just having a rematch than you are pulling out.
Yeah. So it was like, but I'm excited for this fight to show, like, you know, I was sparring with Nick the other day, and he's you know, he was at the old location, and it's been forever, and he told me, he's like, it's crazy how much better you've gotten.
Yeah.
And even though it felt like getting a knockout is like one of the most powerful feelings I've ever. I go between that was the greatest feeling of all time to feeling bad that I knocked out my friend. You know what I mean? That was a great feeling, but I want to show what I can do now, because I think I can do a lot more than I was able to show.
Yeah.
One, because of the skill of my opponent. Two, my own injury. Like,
Yeah.
So, you know, like you said, you're never going to be 100%, but I am excited to, you know, the first one was, holy crap, that was crazy. I want to keep chasing that. You know what I mean?
Holy crap, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that was, you know, the last fight was entertaining, but a lot of people told me it was entertaining, but I want to be more entertaining than the next one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and I think having a better opponent will allow me to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can only, at a certain point, I mean, it is kind of entertaining to watch someone get their ass kicked, but it's more entertaining to see
Watch a
like
brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that, and you know, that's the thing I'm most excited for. I of course plan on winning. I but that's out of my control. I felt so calm going into like leading the 48 hours or even the week leading up to the fight. I was a mess. Yeah, I mean, you saw me.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Are you anxious?" I'm like, "No." You know.
Yeah.
After I weighed in, I was like the most serene I ever felt, because I was just like, I did everything I could. The rest of it doesn't.
Bro, that's how I tell
matter.
fighters. If you do everything you can prior to the fight, winning or losing doesn't matter, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Because we're out there to showcase the skill. And if somebody beats you with skill, we can always improve that.
Yeah.
But not having heart or work ethic or pushing yourself to the limit, unfortunately, you're going to live with that. Damn, I could have done more and I didn't.
Yeah.
And you don't want to live with that, right? And dude, you come in, you work your ass off, you're here for hours a day. You know, you sacrifice not having all the money in the world, but you still somehow manage to afford personal training. So ain't none of you guys got excuses.
Well, let me shout out my sponsor real quick, the Boulevard in Costa Mesa, who are sponsoring me for this next fight. Well, that's other nice thing about not being like in a or have. I have always kind of gone having no commitments means that okay, I can throw money at training. You know what I mean? Like. If I was in a relationship or had a kid or you know like
it would change that.
It would be way more difficult, you know. So I'm very lucky. One of the perks of living that kind of on your own lifestyle is something like this. I have a bunch of friends that are like, I want to come in, and I'm like, it's a free class. I'm like, yeah, but I got the kid on this day.
Yeah.
You know, so I am lucky that way, and you know, it's every penny of the training has been worth it because
I appreciate it.
No, it really like you don't, Frank, you don't understand how much this place is kind of like this place has saved both locations have saved my life at different points in my life. You know, I mentioned being in the hospital and coming out, and I wouldn't have been able to. I was a mess at that point in my life. Not drinking at that point would have been too hard for me without something like this. My mental health has improved so much from coming. Like that is the number one. I deal with depression. I'm sure a lot of people here do.
Yeah.
You gotta be a little something if you're willing to get punched in the face for fun.
100%.
You know, but I keep joking with other comics like the best thing I've ever done for my mental health is to get punched in the face. Here, it's
a different type of outlet.
Yeah.
It's a different type of adrenaline. It's a different dopamine. There's just something about it. And the camaraderie you build with people. And you understand that they're like-minded people. So if there are people like you who are sweet and nice like Harvey, but has also dealt with traumas and things in his life that are just, man, you survived that? Fuck, little Brian, like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
You survived all that? And it's like, and you're still here smiling, willing to work with me and help me and give me all the knowledge you can, right? It's pretty fucking amazing. I love this sport. It literally is the greatest thing. There's one of my friends told me Muay Thai is always giving, it's never taking.
Yeah.
I was like, man, but I got hurt doing this. And then you think about it, you're like, well, that injury taught me not to do this.
Right.
It still gave me a lesson, a painful lesson, but it still gave me the lesson.
Yeah.
Right. So that's something I love about the sport and teaching it and giving to you guys. And I appreciate you saying those things because that's literally what MMT is for. It's literally a place for everyone to come, be welcome, to learn martial arts and have an out, just an out. Just everyone needs something sometime.
Well, and it's also like there's and I think overall it's a good thing. There are very few places to express I mean, I got a lot of rage. Mm-hmm. I don't think that you guys see a lot of it, you know what I mean? Even you know, I have to always be joking, even though I'm doing dark material. At the end of the day, if it's just dark, then I'm not doing my job. I have to be funny. I have to be. I needed a place where I could fucking get the rage out and the frustrations out and all that. And now I feel like I've done that. I know how to like purge that shit here. And now I can have like genuine just smile and shoot the shit with the people here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't purge it, it consumes you.
Right.
And you have to find places to do that. And this has become, I don't know, this is just a very important place to me. And I can't express how grateful I am that it's here and that you guys did not disappear during COVID. Because I just thought that was the case for a long time.
Trust me, we were that
yeah.
Man, we don't have a staff. I work open to close. Thank God I have a couple of instructors that stuck through and we worked that out, you know. But
yeah,
bro, it was scary for a little while. And to all the businesses that lost that battle with COVID and you guys aren't in business anymore, I feel extremely sad and I wish you guys the best and I hope you guys get back to business. Small business is no joke.
Yeah.
It's extremely tough. Being an entrepreneur there's a lot of stuff they left out of that little packet. I mean, open a business, they said. It'll be the greatest thing you ever did, they said. But they don't tell you you're the last one to get paid. They don't tell you that you're the last one to sleep. You don't ever stop thinking. You're always working 24 hours a day. you know, because you always want to improve. I mean, at least if you're trying to be successful and a winner, it never stops.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm literally went from classes to clients to editing to checking the sound to doing the podcast. From podcast, I'm going to go straight to a client. And it's, if I want it, I have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Right?
Yeah.
And I think...
But at the same time, with all that work and all that fucking... that stressful style of life... Does it equal out with how gratifying it is when things go right and when you
I wouldn't change this for anything. Like,
yeah.
One of my fighters, Harvey, when I've been training him, who helps him too.
Helps me, and just one of the best guys I've ever met. Yeah.
So I've been training him for a long time, and he was probably one of the hardest students I had to train because he's not the most athletically gifted guy like some guys are. Like, I can tell Logan one thing and he gets it right away, and his ability to do it is right away.
Right.
Where Harvey just had to work a little harder, and that's not a knock. That's just the reality. That's people.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to learn how to pivot. That's just the reality of the way things work for me.
Yeah.
And that's Harvey. So when Harvey, everyone has a different why of why they do things and why they fight. Harvey's why was to prove to himself he could do this, and he's not a pussy, because most men have a pretty hard existence, because we're not just fighting girls and feminism and all that. We're also fighting every other dude. Mm-hmm. Just because we're a guy doesn't mean we get paid well. We have to fight every other guy. Right?
Yeah.
And guys are hard on each other. If you're a loser, you're a fucking loser, and guys will let you know that you are.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very competitive world out there for dudes, and I don't think most people have an understanding of that. So I think Harvey's why was to prove to himself that he's not that, and I can do this.
Yeah.
So when he fought, I'm coaching him, and I'm cornering him, and I'm watching him win. And I'm like, he's doing all of the things I'm telling him to do. I even get emotional talking about it. I'm telling my cousin Rudy, who's cornering with me, I'm tell him this. And he's looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I'm trying to scream, but I literally can't, because I'm emotional watching my best friend win. I'm like, ah! And Rudy's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, just fucking tell him to do it. And he's like, it was probably the most gratifying thing.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to win.
Yeah.
So to see your students win, it's like, fuck, dude. You had such a rough go. And how you said winning was like the highest of the highs, the greatest thing you ever felt, right? Now imagine you being able to give that.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope.
It's both seeing something brand new while also reliving all of your victories and knowing that they're now part of it and passing it on to them and knowing that they're going to carry on doing the same thing.
The same thing. And why it's fun to watch Harvey train you and then you go be victorious.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. No, I could only imagine. Yeah. No, Harvey did it literally on the radio, you know, because he was listening, so I shouted him out.
Yeah.
And I guess it was off mic because I asked, like, oh, did you hear the shout out? Because he was at work, so he was tuning in and out. It was like, yeah, but off mic, they went on a rant about how crazy it was how well I was trained. Both the guys at Halo Jiu-Jitsu and the New Rock 104.1 guys were they went on not a rant, but just a tirade about how they couldn't believe how well I was trained for the before and after. And that was also cool because you guys have given me so much. I want to give back. I'm grateful to you guys. I don't know how to do it other than shouting you guys out on radio stations in the middle of nowhere.
we literally built our entire gym on word of mouth and being organic. So those are the things that I love, I appreciate. And the question was, is it worth it? All the stress, all the time and energy and shit you put in? The answer is fuck yes, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't change it for anything.
That's what I assumed, yeah.
For fucking 9 hours a day with a place you hate and doing things you hate to do. I would much rather be my own boss. A crazy schedule, a little hectic, but at least I love what I do.
Yeah.
If I take off an extra 2 or 3 years of my life due to stress and all those things,
it's better.
Right, I'll take that over living a longer, miserable life.
Yeah. People always speak, you know, you want to live a long time. No, I just want I want as many minutes as possible to be worth living while I'm here.
Yeah, facts. 100%.
And that's what you found. And there's people like me and plenty of other people. I see them all the time here who are very grateful that you get that from this, because fucking there are people who need this place.
Dude, I know.
You guys disappear. Like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
Orange County's gonna go into fucking
Yeah.
It's gonna have a bunch of crazy people out on the streets. So, Tom, this has been fun. We'll do another one after this fight.
Anytime.
You're gonna kill it.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, where can they find you?
On really the only social media I still use is Instagram, Tom Goss Comedy, on Instagram, and then I post. If you want to come to the show, if you see a flyer posted, just DM me, and I'll get you the info. And sometimes I can get you. Yeah, I want you all to come out to a good show.
Yeah, we're gonna go out.
I think April 13th I'm headlining in Costa Mesa at a steakhouse. So
Steak and comedy.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, Tom Goss Comedy.
Cool. And another special shout out, Boulevard. Thanks for the sponsorship.
Yes, thank you, the Boulevard. I'm working on. I think I'm some. It's so funny because the comics are like, that shirt's too serious. Nah. I'm like, Hari was saying, but fighting serious. I'm like, yeah, but I'm a comedian. I'm a dumb asshole. He's like, not during the fight. I'm like, yeah, but it's like.
I think that's why I should say, the fighting comic.
Yeah, I gotta figure. But I think that design looks cool.
I do too.
For the shirts, yeah.
Especially for St. Patty's Day. So
we're getting inside. Yeah,
there's gonna be some merch coming. So follow him, Tom Goss Comedy. You already know us, MMT Fitness, MMT TV on YouTube. But that's it, man. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.